lot of people are going through relationship problems and are finding it hard to get solutions. In this series, we asked our audience to share their relationship issues with us and receive advice from other people.
When we were about to get married, things got a little rough with me. I invested my money in a deal, and just when I was about to cash out, the investment died. I lost everything. We had already set the date and had started counseling. I didn't want to tell her because I didn't want her to feel scared or think that I was making excuses to opt out of the wedding. So I borrowed money from friends and took a loan from the office. But it wasn't enough. I was stressed because there was nowhere else to get money from. I went to her room one day, opened the door, and took her office laptop and her personal MacBook. I broke her door handle to make it look like a burglary. I stole the laptops and used the money to fund the rest of the wedding. She still doesn't know, and I don't intend to tell her. Now, this is a situation where some couples may find themselves in before their actual wedding ceremony. But I feel you should have man up enough to tell your partner the situation, because the investment you made, I believe, was for both of you. And it wasn't a selfish investment you made where you will cash out and then you only enjoy the glory or the benefit. So if the situations didn't turn out how you wanted it, I think you should have been able to sit her down, talk to her tete-a-tete, and then also try to convince her on how things have turned out. And I also believe you shied away from telling her, particularly because of you were thinking for her, of how she was going to react towards the situation, which, in my opinion, it's not bad, but then you would have saved yourself a lot of trouble and thinking if you should have been able to tell her from the beginning. Now, the reason why you have even opened up about this is particularly because in your thoughts, you don't feel right about it. That is why you have been able to come out and seek for counsel from it. So I believe that from the beginning, if we have been able to open up to her, to discuss it, we would have saved a lot of trouble, and I'm sure your conscience would have been at rest by now.
I used to have serious menstrual cramps that usually got me incapacitated. My husband, who was my then boyfriend, knew about it and was always there for me. He would help take me to the bathroom, clean my body and dry me up. He would then bring me to the room and fix the pad in my pants for me. When I needed warm water, he provided it. When I needed hot tea, he made it for me. It was cute how he took care of me. We are married now, and I no longer experience cramps, nothing at all. But now and then, when I want him to stay with me and take care of me, I fake menstrual cramps. I make it look like I'm dying, and this man will stop everything he's doing to be with me. One day he asked me, I thought this thing was gone. How has it started all over again? And I answered, I don't know. I don't even understand my body anymore. But it's all lies. I do it to make him stay and take care of me. Well, it's women, we need a lot of attention. That's it. And when they were dating, I think it was good. There was a good sort of attention, and maybe she misses it. So I don't think it's a bad thing as long as it doesn't cause any harm to him or maybe causing problems at work. I think it's okay. Even if he knows, sometimes we know certain things about our partners that we just do not talk about. So you just let it go and then you turn a blind eye to it. It's not harmful, it's cute. I think it's cute, so that's it. He should just, even if he knows about it, he should pretend as if he doesn't know so that it continues. It's nice. Just wants attention. That's all.
My husband's mother fell sick and he brought her home for me to take care of. I loved that woman and I was doing my very best for her to get well. I would take her to the hospital and she would get well, and then I would bring her home. But a week or so later, she would get worse and I would rush her to the hospital again. One day, I took her to the hospital and the doctor gave me a prescription for her. My husband had traveled, so he sends me the money to get the drug, but I forgot to get the drug. For 3 consecutive days, I went to town, but I couldn't buy the drug. I was always postponing until her situation got worse on the 4th day, and we rushed her to the hospital. My husband asked if I bought the drug, and I said yes. I bought the drug that day, and she died that day. I feel I contributed to her death, and I'm ridden with guilt every day. However, my husband doesn't know I lied about the drug. I understand that she feels guilt because the responsibility of buying the drug was placed on her because her husband wasn't around. But however, I feel her mother-in-law was not as important to her as she thought she was, because if it was her mother who was very sick, I'm not sure she would have forgotten to buy the drugs for 3 days, not just 1 day. So although she might say her mother-in-law is important to her, I don't think it was important. However, we can also say that maybe she was stressed out. She couldn't really remember. Maybe she had other responsibilities on her. So maybe we can use the forgetfulness as an excuse. But I don't really think that if it was her mother who was sick, she would have forgotten about buying the drug, especially when the mother-in-law was very sick and the doctor asked her to buy the drug. So I don't think her mother-in-law was really important to her, as she says.
I lost my job a month ago, but my husband is not aware of it. I wake up with him every morning and dress up as if I'm going to work. We've been married for 2 years, and I'm scared if I tell him I don't have a job, he will change toward me. He's been very bossy and wants to be in control of everything. If he finds out I've lost my job, I'll lose the little control I have in this marriage. He will treat me anyhow and order me around the way he wants. I can't stand that, so I'm hiding my joblessness from him until I get a new job. You have a husband who is very bossy, and this marriage is just about 2 years old, very, very young. And if you are already afraid of your husband at this time of your marriage, I think that it calls for a bigger concern. And after all, how long can you continue walking out of the house? And then where do you even go? Your husband may find out, and that in itself may give you a big problem. So I think you should be able to tell your husband about it. If you use the word afraid. If you're afraid, you should be able to talk to someone, maybe a counselor, maybe an elder, or his trusted friend, and open up to him or her to lead you to your husband, to explain to him the situation. The fact is that as time goes on, it's going to reflect in the house. Maybe whilst you are working, you earn some income, definitely, and it supports the home to a large extent. Now you're going to start asking your husband for money, and he's going to become suspicious about it. He's going to ask what you are doing with your money. Are you going to be borrowing money from friends to fund that part of your life? So the question is, how long are you going to continue with this? I don't think it's just an issue of you losing your job. It's a bigger one. You have a husband who you describe to be bossy, who is in control, who wants to control people and control you yourself. So I think it's an issue you need to deal with, and you need to speak to someone and to deal with that issue.
I dated my boyfriend for 3 months before he started introducing me to his friends and family. The first person he introduced me to was Josh. He said they had been friends for years. I dated Josh for a year. He caught me cheating and he left. Since then, we haven't been close or talked to each other. When he introduced us, we acted normal, as if we didn't know each other. A day later, I called Josh and pleaded with him not to say anything to him. He agreed and said, "I will be watching you. You better not do to him what you did to me. We are getting married soon, but he doesn't know that I once dated his friend. Okay. Personally, I feel the relationship is leading to marriage, and the foundation of every healthy relationship and marriage should be honesty and trust. And trust can be gained through honesty and transparency. So if they intend to get married, I am of the opinion that she should tell the partner that she intends to marry, that she once dated his friend and they dated for a year, and probably the reason why they broke up. I feel the details is not necessary, but the overall reason why they broke up is important, because in that, Josh would forever have a hanging, like an upper hand or something hanging over her head. So in the near future, where he feels like he can use that to his advantage, he would be able to get her to do something that she might not be interested in, or something that she might not be able to do, but because he has a secret hanging over her head, she might sooner or later give in. So I personally think if they are thinking about getting married, then the honesty is the best policy.